Hello, I'm Christina Neely. I'm your host for Beeville Live. Today we're going to be making vegetarian chili. It's the day before Thanksgiving, and you may be asking yourself, why would I make vegetarian chili? Well, we're going to be eating a lot of meat the next couple of days, so I want to make sure that we're all cleaned out. Plus, the chili can be combined with the turkey to make other things after Thanksgiving, and I'll show you some more of that in later videos. So, what do I do? How do you make vegetarian chili? Well, I make everything from scratch. I try to make it as wholesome and healthy as possible. So one of the things I do, and it's very economical to make it this way, is I buy my beans at the dollar store. They're $1 a bag. Sometimes you can get them cheaper if they're on sale at the grocery store, but usually they're more than $1. I buy 3 kinds of beans. I buy black beans, which look like this. I buy navy beans, which look like this, and I buy red kidney beans, which you're all familiar with. I take 1/3 of a bag of each. I soak them in a pot overnight with water, and I rinse them the next day, and then I fill the pot with water again. Now you really can't see it because it looks a little bit cloudy in there. See if I can get you a view of that. Okay, but to that I'm going to be adding all my vegetables, and this makes a really good healthy treat. I make a pot of beans and chili at least once a week. And the reason I do that is because beans are really shown to improve your health. They're good for your heart. My son's a cardiologist. He's basically a vegetarian, so I try and cook for him as healthy as I can. It's also noted in the blue zones, which is an area, 5 different areas in the United States and throughout the world where people who eat legumes and beans have been noted to live longer, many centenarians. So one of the things that I do add to this chili is a red onion, because the red onion, and the more colorful the vegetables, the better off it is. My son's fiance is Chinese, and she said in her family they always said, eat a rainbow every day. So in addition to the beans, we're going to put in some carrots, and these aren't the store-bought carrots. I got these from Brady Farm. Brady Farms is a local organic farm that grows produce in the Syracuse area, and you can sign up for their drop-off service. They drop off in Baldwinsville, and they do I think 5 or 7 drops for $140, which is pretty good. You get a huge box of produce. This time we got carrots and pumpkin and fresh onions, all kinds of greens, mustard greens, collard greens, turnips. My refrigerator was packed, so I'm going to use some of those today. So in addition to 2 carrots, okay, I'm going to chop in 2 stalks of celery, and I had some peppers left over, and they also included some hot peppers in, so I'm going to throw those in the chili as well. So let's get chopping. So when you chop an onion, the easiest way to do this is to remove the ends. So I'm going to take the stem end and the top end, just chuck those, and then you peel the first layer on the outside. Okay, you just make a small cut and then just peel it away. Okay, you can just peel the skin, but I like to do the extra layer, especially if I got it at the store and I'm not sure. Sometimes it's organic, sometimes it's not. I try and buy organic whenever possible, but this way you'll be sure that you get rid of all the pesticides. So the easiest way to chop an onion is to cut it in half, okay? And an onion tells you how to cut itself. So if you notice inside, there's these grooves. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to slice this way and follow the lines, the natural lines, and then across. This saves a whole lot of time in chopping. So it's very easy. I just follow the lines on the onion all the way down, all the way down, all the way down, and then across. And it's that simple. Before you know it, you have chopped onions. Okay? Like I said, I like to use the red onions because they're better for you. The more colors that you have, the more flavonoids that you have in your food, and those are the things that help you live longer. That's my pumpkin pie that I started earlier. So I'm going to now change the heat on that to 350. So start that up. 350. If you were watching my pumpkin pie recipe that I did earlier today, you'll notice that I had put the pie in the oven initially for 15 minutes to brown at 425. Then you reduce the heat to 350 and you set the oven for 50 minutes to complete the cooking time. Just checking, double checking my recipe, 50 minutes, and we're good to go. Okay, and I'll show you what that looks like when I'm done. All right, so let's go back to our chili. And like I said, I have a pot of chili, and then I end up not having to cook for an entire week or more afterwards because I have the chili, I have the turkey, and it's a good reprieve from all that turkey, and you can also mix in the meat with it. When I make my turkey on Thanksgiving, I also freeze half of it, and I use the other half of the meat during Christmas. That way, it's not so much meat. You know, you want to try and get as much vegetarian lifestyle into your diet as possible. Turkey's good for you, but you know, too much of anything is not really good for your heart, especially when it comes to meat. So there's my other half of the onion. I'll just put that into the pot. So like I said, I used 1/3 kidney beans, 1/3 white beans, 1/3 black beans. It's a nice mixture. You can also soak them and cook them and just make a cold recipe that I do in the summer with the beans, and I'll set up a recipe for that online as well. And one of the things I should tell you about celery is you never want to put celery down your garbage disposal. Very, very bad, clogs up the garbage disposal. I tell my tenants that all the time. Don't put celery down the garbage disposal. Garbage disposals really are just meant for like food scraps that you put off your plates, little odds and ends. It's not meant to clean out your refrigerator and dump everything that's rotting into it. I don't often have rotting food in my refrigerator, mainly because we eat so much in the way of vegetables. We tend to use it, and when it starts to get a little bit soggy, I just make a big pot of soup, and that's how I use it up. So I moved here from Virginia Beach a couple months ago, and as I said, I'm a teacher. I'm working on my master's, and I couldn't find a job, and everybody told me, well, you got to get your master's when you're in New York. So I had started my master's in gifted education, and I'm going back and finishing the curriculum, and then I'll hopefully have a job full-time next year. But I'm subbing right now in Baldwinsville area. Kids are great. I also sub at St. Mary's, and I just signed up to sub at Word of Life. Honestly, I prefer the Christian schools and the Catholic schools. Kids are just better behaved. Curriculum's better. Pay's not as good, but you know, it's a trade-off. So I chopped up my celery, as you can see, and the way I do it is I follow the lines that nature created for you. I go down and then across, down and across. That's basically your chopping that you're doing. So that's going to go into the pot. And at this point, I'm going to turn my pot on to high and start the water boiling. It takes a while to cook chili, especially if you're using dried beans. If you're in a hurry, just open up 3 pans. I've done that myself. You know, it's just the way nature is, life is. When I'm working, I don't always have the luxury of drying my beans, but I try to. It's just cheaper, and I think it's healthier for you. You know, the closer to nature you can get, the better off you are. So I love these carrots. I've been dying to try one. Super sweet, delicious. You can't beat organic carrots. So when I cut the carrots, what I do is I cut them in half and half again, so they're in quarters. Lay the slices down and then cut across. The carrots are very good for eyesight. As we all know, Bugs Bunny had excellent eyesight. So the colors of the vegetables I'm using today are purple, orange, red, green, yellow. Okay, it makes a nice, pretty variety, and it's good for you. So this turns out to be a very colorful chili. I don't put any meat in my chili at all. You know, I try, like I said, I try and go close to vegetarian as I can, simply for my health, and it It's better for heart health. I don't miss it. I'm not totally vegetarian, but I try and eat mostly vegetable meals during the week, a couple of meat meals on the weekend. Usually use meat more for a treat or an add-in. It's a lot cheaper to live that way too. So same thing with peppers. I take the pepper, I top it, I cut it in half, and then I'm going to cut that in half again and cut across. Okay, and I find that this technique works very well for almost all vegetables. I just follow the lines that Mother Nature put in, and it's a really good guide. You know, some people are like, what does it matter which way you chop it? It really doesn't, but it just goes easier and faster this way. That way you have your stack set up like this, and then you just cut across. Here we go. And it goes pretty quick. I mean, you know, you say, oh, all those vegetables, you're doing all that work. But you know what? I could use a food processor, but this is extra way to burn calories. Okay. So I threw everything in the pot now. And you can see the carrots in there. And you can see the celery and the onions and the beans. I'm going to give it a stir. Like that. Stir everything around. I don't put my spices in yet. I wait. But I might put them in now because I think I'm going to run down and exercise in the basement for a bit. So, what spices do we add? Well, push it down. I'm going to add salt to that. Okay, and if I'm measuring, I would say probably about a quarter to a half a teaspoon of salt. I don't add a ton of salt. Pepper. I think that was actually cinnamon and sugar, but that's okay. Pepper. Okay. And then I add things that are really, really good for you. So, what are those? Well, one of the first things is ground cumin. It's really, really good for your heart. Let's sprinkle that in. And I add ground turmeric. Let's sprinkle that in. It also gives it a really nice flavor. I forgot to add garlic. I'm going to get some garlic now out of the fridge. So I had a lot of this left over. I actually sometimes use some of these sun-dried tomatoes. So you can see the beauty of the chili, how colorful it is. It's got carrots, celery, onions, hot peppers, regular peppers, black beans, white beans, kidney beans. It's beautiful. It is a rainbow of flavor and deliciousness. And I'm just going to let that simmer after it comes to a boil, and serve that with some garlic bread, and it will be delish. Okay, so we're making the vegetarian chili today. It's been cooking for about 45 minutes. So I've turned it down to simmer after I brought it to a boil, and I just keep stirring it, okay? And you'll know when it's done, the beans will be nice and soft. So I just let this cook all day long. I'm going to be baking today. I'm making apple crisp and pumpkin pie, and I think my pumpkin pie is just about ready to come out of the oven. So I'm going to put the lid back on this. And I have my heat down to low, and we're good to go. So I just took the pumpkin pie out of the oven. It's been cooking for 15 minutes at 425, and then 50 minutes at 350. So I'm going to test it. Now you can see that it's starting to sink a little. Finished product of the Healthy and Hearty Vegetarian Chili. It looks delicious, and believe me, it is. Served with a bread or a biscuit, have a bite. You'll love it. Thanks for viewing. Tune in to Beville Live anytime for good recipes and good food. God bless you.